Hello everyone. We will take a look at the reduced colour birds in a second, but I do need to do a bit more work on the loft today. We had a big storm last night and you can see that a bit of water got in, so I really am going to have to do some work on the front of the loft because it just really isn't going to be possible for me to have a successful race team in a loft that gets wet. I'm thinking about trying something out here in the aviary section. I do like having this open roof in the aviary section that the birds can sit in and enjoy a little bit of sun, but I'm thinking about making up some temporary roofs that I can put on the top section there just when it's going to rain, and hopefully that'll help a little bit in keeping the rain out. I'll have to do a few more experiments. I think it's going to rain again over the weekend, so I might put a little bit of wood up the top just during the rain and see if that helps. Otherwise we might have to take a bit more drastic action and put some shutters on the front to completely block the rain out. Now before we take a closer look at the birds, I'm going to do a bit more work lining the back walls here with plywood. Alright, well, it's a bit later in the day. My drill did go flat whilst I was putting these panels up. But you can see I have put the back panel up, and I've also put a panel down here underneath the aviary section. Another thing I've done is wired off the front here. It was actually a mistake. When I ordered the loft, I forgot to tell them to put wire here, so I've put some in myself. You can see out there is the trap, which is going to go here, and then there'll be a wooden landing board out here as well. So all that really needs to happen now is to put some perches on these walls, and then the rest of the birds can come in. What I haven't done yet is put up this side wall, and that's just because I haven't decided how to do it yet. But now that we've done that, let's have a closer look at these pigeons. So I'll start with this one. These birds are nice examples of a fairly rare but quite beautiful colour called reduced. This one's a hen, and I'm pretty sure she's a reduced blue checker. There is a chance that she might be a spread reduced. I'll have to do some breeding tests to figure that out for sure. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll notice that this colour looks quite similar to the recessive opal spread that I've been trying to breed. But although they look similar, this is actually a completely different and totally unrelated colour. Reduced is actually a sex-linked gene, and I'll do another video on reduced in the future. But for now, I'd just like to tell you a bit of an interesting story about them. I'll go and grab one of the others and we can talk about it some more. So this one I think is a cockbird. And if you have a close look, you notice that he is an ash red reduced. And this is a colour I actually hadn't even seen in person before I picked this guy up. Reduced is a gene that works similar to dilute, in that it reduces the amount of colour in the bird. But when you combine dilute with ash red, you get a yellow, whereas reduced makes this beautiful pastel pink colour. Anyway, I did say I'd tell you an interesting story about reduced, and that relates to the history of the colour. If you read any genetic book or website, it'll tell you that this gene, reduced, was discovered in America in the 1950s in roller pigeons. The story goes that there was a young kid who had some funny coloured birds, and he brought them to show an older fancier who realised that there was something different, and did some breeding tests, and then described the new colour reduced. But the interesting thing is that in Australia, it seems that this colour, or this gene reduced, has been in long distance racing pigeons for a lot longer than that. This bird in particular is actually quite closely related to an 800 kilometre winner and a 1000 kilometre race winner. And it's not too uncommon to find this gene in a lot of good quality long distance lofts in Australia. And something to remember is that Australia was actually cut off from pigeon imports for a long time, from the 1940s till about the early 1990s. So it's really unlikely that this colour was brought in from America. It seems like this was a genuine mutation that occurred in Australia, completely separately to the mutation that happened in the States. You might remember that I had reduced in the past, if you've been watching for a while. I had the pink bar pigeon, but I actually lost him. He actually died before I was able to breed. So I'm happy to have this colour back. And these ones are much higher racing quality than the previous one was. These guys have been enjoying their time in the loft, but I'm actually going to move them back into their breeding box now. She's probably going to lay eggs in a few days, so I'm going to put them back in the nest box. So let's bring these guys back out into the breeding boxes and have a look at the other birds out there as well. Well, he's very happy to be back in here. You might notice one change. I've switched out their nesting bowl for a little corner scrape here. That's just to stop them from having to jump into the deep bowl and damage their eggs like they had in the past. I think she'll jump down and join him soon, and these guys will probably lay eggs in the next couple of days. So let's give them some space and have a look at some of the other birds. Well, there's not too much more to talk about down here in the breeding boxes apart from these little guys being just about ready for rings. Let's pull them out and see if they're ready. Well, here they are. I think they're 6 days old now, so they're probably just about ready. Let's give them a go. I always put the lowest string number on the largest baby, which I think is this one, and I always put the ring on the right leg upside down, which means that when you're holding the pigeon you can read the ring the right way out. Actually, looking at his feet, we might be a day early, but we'll give it a go. So I take the foot, slide the front 3 toes through the ring, push the foot through, and then pull the back toe through. Oh, perfect size. Now we'll do the other one. Same thing, right leg, pull the toes through, push the foot through, and pull the back toe. And that's it. These guys have their rings. Let's put them back with their parents. Well guys, that's about all for today. The reduced birds are behind me down there. But thanks for watching, and if we're lucky, the next time you see me on the weekend, we'll have the rest of my birds in this loft. In the corner over there, we have my third reduced. That one is a reduced grizzle. But I'll wait for it to get a bit older before I give you guys